Hey everybody, Brett from AstartesGaming here, back with another episode of our Kingdom Come Deliverance Let's Play. So it's raining outside, and I've got some hot tea in front of me, so it's a great time for some video games. I've been hanging out in Ujits, just trying to kill some time. I kicked a villager's ass at some dice. And it is evening now, so we can go talk to the priest inside the tavern here, and hopefully find out some more information on Limpy Lubosh. So let's go ahead and sit down and have a word with him.
I'm sorry I can't tell you everything, but maybe we can work something out. But first I'd like to hear something about you, my son. With whom do I have the honor? Where are you from?
I'm from Skalitz.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about your kin?
They're dead.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I'll bring it
Here,
right away.
we'll drink to them. It must have been terrible.
It was terrible. It seemed so pointless. We had no warning. They just appeared and began the slaughter. God knows why. They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle. The parents, the girl, even the Deutsch who was on Sigismund's side. I didn't make it to the castle. I wanted to try and help my parents, but there was nothing I could do. Then I fled to Talmberg with the Cumans on my heels. They almost killed me. They slaughtered people in the surrounding villages. There was a pile of bodies in front of the church in Rovna. Folk who tried to take refuge there, but
I've only got two.
My poor child. May God grant them eternal rest. And how did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir Hanish to send that old grouch, Bernard.
he did, but I found a witness and the trail led here to Ujits, so he sent me here to follow it up.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone using their head to find things out instead of torture. We'll have to drink to that. Now the most important thing. What actually happened at Noyo? The good folks hereabout are saying all kinds of terrible things, but I take most of it with a pinch of salt.
The rumors aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhof stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarreled among themselves and broke off the attack. And judging by what's left of our Lubosh, they're still settling accounts.
I see it's every bit as bad as people claimed. Dreadful. Well then, here's to those poor souls who had to die so pointlessly and so terribly.
I've told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. You don't look much like our parish priest at home. I noticed you're pretty handy with a sword. I wouldn't expect that of a man of the cloth.
You know what they say. The Lord moves in mysterious ways.
But this is a bit more mysterious than others.
Let's just say I haven't always been a priest. Fate led me to places where affairs were settled by force. These days, of course, it's just a bit of exercise to keep me in shape.
Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down to business. So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent people to die?
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if you do it once, you'll forever be tempted to do it again. If people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed, they won't trust anyone, and that's worse than even the most hideous crime.
I understand, but that means I've reached a dead end. Those cutthroats will strike again, and I can't stop them.
Chin up, lad. I might have a solution.
What?
If I tell you what Lubosh told me, I'd be betraying the confessional secret. But first thing tomorrow, I'll try something I think might help you.
Word of honor?
On my soul.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the ideas for your sermons?
I'll be right back.
Well,
with that.
Ujits isn't prop. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained, too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be preaching to an empty church.
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard. So what do you preach to your flock about?
It has to be something topical. condemning vices, and of course describing them in detail. The tongue-lashing about the two popes goes down well these days, and stories from real life with a nice moral to them are popular as well, especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices.
Can you give me an example?
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague in the Czech language, and the people liked it. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about Mother Church. The lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison, and nearly the whole of Christendom is contaminated. Just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of gold and silver. They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth, and they shamelessly profit from everything. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay and you will have absolution. What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven too? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress their whores in expensive fur. While Jesus Christ walked barefoot and had no place to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too. Amen.
Well, this Jan Hus character is quite a rebel.
Oh, the congregation will love it.
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to that.
Funny. That last bit reminds me of someone.
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I don't have a pot to piss in. I'm no better off than the folk I preach to. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with them and curse those stuffed habits in Sasau Monastery.
Okay, so if you want, you can go through and hear more about the preachings of Jan Hus and the eventual foundation of the... I don't know if he talks about the Hussites, but the Hussite Wars come a little bit later after this game takes place. But you can kind of get an idea of what his philosophy was and all that here. Anyways, we're not here for any of that. We're here for this murder.
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough. Oh, it's getting quite late. What are your plans, Father?
What do you suppose? We have a drink, of course.
Okay, so right here is where the path splits. If you are going for the celibacy achievement, you are not going to be in the mood for boozing. If you don't care, then you might want to agree, because this is a pretty entertaining quest. Although there is some nudity in it, so I'll have to cut that out. But we're going to do this one because I think it's a lot of fun, and I don't particularly care about that achievement. So let's go for it.
Ah, that sounds like a good plan.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Przyszła bida mora lat, to nie ustoi żadnej chlap. Na kraj padł dziesięć smutek, do dnie loi rano utek, niech już małżeński majstak, do wczera żylne staje prak. Už se jí bojí svatý muži, nechtěl bych bejt v jejich kůži. Nám je to jedno a tak si dáme jedno a požadem si hubí jako poslední den. Budem se bávit, ano ráda slávit a tak vypal sudy a posaď se mi sem. Tak posaď se sem a vypal je ven. Ukaž kozy jako vozy, zítra jen tu jsou nejdem, tak nalej mi hned, ať točí se svět. Enough of this! Bailiff! Come on over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can ride is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out.
You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
Alright, let's level up our one-handed skill a bit here. Ooh, that's a dirty move. Apparently he's too strong for me to grapple with. Get out of here, man. Quit grabbing me.
I'll gut you like a rabbit. Now,
There we go. Nice. Come on, let's put him down. Put him down. Alright, there we go. He's out. Let's see. That guy's on my side. Ooh, caught him with the hook. Man, you just got wrecked. Who's still fighting? Oh, the bailiff and Godwin are still going at it. Let's step in here. Come on. Throw punches. Why aren't you throwing punches? I think when they go into the grapple cutscene with somebody, or not cutscene, animation. When they go into the grapple animation with somebody else, you can't really attack them. We did level up our unarmed, though. Oh boy. Oh god. Okay. That's down. Let's go up.
Look where you're
Oh
going.
boy. Whoa, chill out. Who's
Watch
this?
the step, my dear.
Oh, that's the alehouse maid.
Careful,
Okay.
you don't hurt yourself.
Godwin, you're
Oh, whoa. Okay. Are we going up the ladder? No.
Here we are. Look at this beauty.
We can't do this, can we?
Who says? Get ringing, wench.
This is wonderful.
Ah, bloody oath. And now, my dears, comes the climax of the evening. Well, I have to say that was a fine evening.
Godwin, you beast. Get up. Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards.
Oh, fucking hell. Where the... Oh, what the... Oh, who the hell are you? Oh, Henry. My great friend, Henry. Didn't we have a wonderful time?
Well, you certainly did, you old lecher. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, step on in my head. My guts. My poor suffering stomach. Ugh. What was that woman on about? Wait, before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something. What have I forgotten?
Where the fuck am I?
What the fuck was it? Mass! Oh shit, I have to say mass. I gotta say mass. You have to help me.
How? You're the priest.
I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me.
I'd like to help you, but...
You can. You can do the sermon for me.
What? So, first I investigate a murder no one wants investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit? Do you want them to burn us at the stake?
No. No, I've got it. Suppose that Sir Ratzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there. Henry, look. From what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. And if the bailiff or someone else complains about me, the bishop's gonna have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it. Stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
You're mad. You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless. Oh. How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Lubosh's cronies are.
So all at once the confessional seal isn't so sacred?
Don't mock me. I won't give you a second chance.
We'll never get away with it.
Not if you make a hash of it.
Well, alright. I can't make any promises about what'll happen.
No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do exactly?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday in the tavern, and that's that. No need to drag it out. If it turns out well, I'll tell you what I know about Lubosh.
Christ almighty. Fine then. We have a deal.
Wonderful. Let's get to it then.
Alright, so best that we get... Whoa, geez, chill out. Best that we get dressed before we go in there. Let's go ahead and throw our stuff back on. It's going to help our persuasion a little bit. We'll do the scarf, and this, and that, and those. I don't know if we need the van braces. Do they help? Charisma 8. They don't hurt, so I'll keep them on. Okay. Our vision's still a little bit off. You can see his head's kind of bobbing.
Hey.
We're still a little bit drunk.
What?
What's going on? Are you serious? You just walked right through me. Oh boy. Oh no, it's the bailiff. Hopefully he doesn't remember getting punched in the back of the head last night. Okay. Oh god, I can't even stand up straight. Before we go in, you know what, let's level up since we did get a few there. So unarmed, let's see. We have martial artist. You can easily overcome wounds. Strikes will wound you 5% less. Or we have physical fitness, where you can sprint 20% faster and run 10% faster at all times. I like that. Let's take that one. Both of those are good though. In fact, I think this particular tree has a lot of really good perks. I don't know that any of them have negatives. Yeah, even this one, where it's dependent on you being drunk, there's no downside. It's just you're more easily able to dodge stuff when you're drunk, but it's not like it makes it harder for you to dodge when you're sober like some of the other perks. And then drinking, we're gonna go with, let's see, drinking habit under the influence of alcohol, your hands. No, this one's terrible. So basically you always have to be drunk when you're using a bow. So I would highly recommend going against that. And then these ones are kind of stupid as well, because it's basically, do you want to get drunk easier off of wine or beer? And I'm honestly like, who the hell cares? Like, I don't care about either of those. So I'm probably going to skip that tree entirely. None of the perks in here are particularly good, I would say. Other than maybe some toward the end. Like, this one's pretty good. And, I mean, yeah, honestly, a lot of those perks suck. But it's the drinking skill tree, so it's like, who cares? It's not like it's critical to the gameplay or anything.
Never show up. I swear.
Look at him. He can hardly walk after his capers last night.
You were with them, you beast. Just you.
Look at him. Mother of God. Any minute now he'll throw up.
Guess I couldn't sleep a wink last night with all that clamor.
In nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Accepit panem in sanctas at venerabiles a manus suas. Hac facite in meam commemorationem. Brothers and sisters, you may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Skalitz, who is here at the behest of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhof. You might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where, by the grace of God, was able to hear Master Jan Hus from the esteemed Charles University preaching. I've managed to persuade Henry to stand here today in my stead and tell us what he heard. Because, as you all probably know, Jan Hus is a very popular preacher in Prague. So, Henry, you may begin.
Now I'm curious which one of them will puke first.
Alright, let's go with some confidence.
Brothers and sisters, let me get straight to the point. I'd like to talk about the church and how corrupt it is.
That boy has a cheek.
Creation has given to every man the power by which he might rule the whole world. But that power does not give him the right to rule. That right belongs to God alone. It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, humans, hunger, and chaos.
The accursed wealth that the church is drowning in is poisoning almost the whole of Christendom. When dogs are fighting over a bone, take the bone and they will stop. Just like the flock of ravens that has descended on this land to peck up every speck of gold and silver. They show no mercy. Their hearts are poisoned by covetousness. They trade everything. Everything is for sale. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay, and you will have absolution. And the prelates sin and give themselves absolution.
For shame! Shame upon them!
It is the custom of the gluttonous prelates and monks to preach against sin. But what do they know of us ordinary folk? Let us remember the marriage at Cana, where our Lord Jesus Christ himself feasted with the other guests and drank his fill. And when the wine was gone, he performed a miracle and created more. He, whose companions were poor travelers, simple folk, prostitutes and troublemakers, performed a miracle so the feast could continue.
Now that's the kind of sermon I like to hear.
No, brothers and sisters. Jesus did not condemn alcohol,
Drink to lighten the cross you bear in this vale of tears, but not with such abandon that you cannot keep holy the Sabbath. For there should be moderation in all things, and it is not drinking itself that is sinful, but intemperance and beastly indulgence.
He's right.
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you only pay enough coin to Mother Church. What if the devil himself were to pay? Will the bishops tell us he too would ascend to heaven? And what about those bishops? They sin without remorse, and with the money grasped from the poor for indulgences, they keep fine horses and hordes of servants to pamper them. They play dice and garb their mistresses in expensive furs, while Christ, the Lamb of God, walked barefoot and had nowhere to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too.
Down with the prelates! Away with them!
We're fortunate to have our good Father Godwin. At least he's a fair and simple man.
God sees what is happening on earth, and he is filled with righteous wrath that those who should seek the salvation of souls instead seek mammon and the idle comfort of lucrative posts. Blessed are the shepherds who share the poverty of their flock, who are as one with you and bear with you the burden of this earthly pilgrimage, who do not condemn your venial sins.
Aye, all honor to Godwin. Let him drink like one of us.
That is all I heard in Prague. Amen.
Well done, Henry, well done.
Considering what a soak he is.
He's right, that huss.
The young man shouldn't drink so much, but the Lord's given him a
I'm
silver
glad he
tongue.
came here. I don't suppose I'll ever get to Prague, and he told it nicely.
Well, well, my boy, you have talent, and I can't deny it. And you pulled a thorn from my side. I almost didn't make it.
Yeah, I noticed. I wasn't the only one.
Oh, what's to be done? I'll make it up somehow.
So, about our bargain.
Although it's a sin.
So gluttony and fornication.
God does forgive a penitent.
So, what did Limpy Lubosh tell you? Was he at Neuhof that day? Who was with him? And where are they now?
Now slow down. I'm sorry, but he didn't tell me that much.
Don't let me down after all I've been through. For you?
Well, now Lubosh came to me shortly after it happened. His conscience was gnawing at him. And I must say, in the end, he turned out to be a better man than he looked. He said they'd been hired through some crony of theirs. And at first they were just to steal some horses. But then it all turned sour and people started getting killed. And neither he nor his cronies wanted anything to do with that. So they fell out from the gang and fled.
Fell out?
Yeah, there was a body found in the woods by Neuhof.
That would explain something. Lubosh kept jabbering that he wasn't a murderer, that he didn't want to do it.
So I know that Lubosh killed the murderer and he's dead too. The trouble is, I need to find the ones who are still alive. I need names and places. Did he mention any of the others?
Only nicknames. Talked about some fella called Riki from Ledechko, Pius, Timmy.
Pious. That lot are about as pious as I am ordained.
Nonsense. You would make an excellent priest. And anyhow, with your skills, you ought to be able to sniff out this Riki from Ledechko, right?
Well, we'll have to now. There's not much else to go on. Let's hope he's not hanging from the wall too.
Indeed. And I'd hate to be excommunicated for nothing. Anyhow, good luck. You watch out for yourself. These people clearly mean business. And I'd like to raise a tankard with you again sometime.
Yeah, I'll try. Although I'm not sure I'd survive another night of your debauchery.
And if anyone should ask, you heard nothing from me. I'll deny everything.
I don't doubt it.
Alright, so we've completed everything we needed to do in Ujits. We've learned to read. We've figured out our next heading in terms of this investigation. So, let's take a look at our journal here and see what we got to do next. So, we have On the Scent, where we need to track down Riki. That's kind of a nice little pun they've given us there. And he's in Ledechko, which is just north of Rate. So if we cross this river here and ride through a little bit of farmland, we'll find it. And it is worth mentioning here that you are going to want to work fairly quickly on these quests. In my experience, there are several different ways or different states in which you can find Riki, depending on how quick you are. I have found him alive and well and able to tell me stuff, and I've also, when taking a bit longer, found him... well, I don't know if I want to spoil this, so slight spoiler here. But I've also come upon him basically dying, and he was able to give me a little bit of information, but not a lot. So I would recommend being fairly quick about this. I don't know what the threshold is. I don't know how quick you need to be, but he can be, the bandits can get to him before you do if you are too slow. The rest of this stuff can wait, I imagine. Yeah, we're probably going to want to... You know, it might actually be easier just to ride back to Rate and then go north from there. So maybe we will check in and turn in this quest. Is there anything else I needed to do? I need to steal his ring, so that might be worth doing. And maybe we'll get into a couple fist fights. Again, I don't want to take too long, but I don't know if we'll be able to fit in all of this quest in this episode, so it might be fun to just tack on some little side quests on the end. So, let's see. If we were to fast travel, how long would that take? Hopefully not too long. Alright, so we're coming up on the northeastern entrance in like late afternoon. Hopefully Bernard is still out here. It looks like he is. My frame rate is not doing particularly well right now. I wonder what's going on with that. Anyways, let's have a chat.
Henry. My respects to you.
We've taken care of the camp.
Where's the proof?
Here it is.
Oh, that is a nice bit of news. I've had another report. Some folk were ambushed to the west of Rate, on the hill across the river from the gallows. It would be worthwhile to check it out.
Very well, I'll take a look.
Okay, so I'm going to mention this several times throughout this playthrough, but never ever hand over the trophies to Bernard or Robard. Only ever hand them in to Sir Sebastian in Sasau. Robard and Bernard will pay you 25 per ear. Sir Sebastian will pay you 625 per ear. So obviously, if you hand them in here, you're losing out on a pretty significant amount of money. So do not do it. I'm gonna... No, you know what? Let's see. Oh, weird. They combine this menu. That's kind of interesting. Let's see. We already learned Master Strikes, I think. Let's see if we can get any defense.
Certainly.
Are we high enough here yet?
I'm interested in more advanced techniques.
All right, but it'll cost
Cool.
you.
Sure, that's fine.
Now, pay close attention.
Where are we with that, by the way? Let's see. Combat. Defense is at 7. Sword is at 7. And that will... If we train that with him as well, that might put us up to 9 even, because we're almost to 8. So let's knock that out real quick. Unless, of course, we've already done it. I don't think we have, though.
I'd like to improve my swordsmanship.
Certainly.
Oh, apparently we have. Okay, then we're going to have to wait on that one.
I think...
We could train with him to level it up some more, but I'm not going to bother with that right now.
You're Stephen, aren't you? Milan tells me he won't fight me until I beat you.
Oh, yeah? And why would you want to? Well, never mind. I'll fight you if you pay me. What do you say?
Alright, here we go. Come on, you gonna fight back or what?
Yeah, boss.
Ooh, got me. I can't tell if he's ducking those or what. Haha, caught you with a jab. Oops, sorry. Knocked him through the fence. Is anybody around? Do you have anything good on you? Not really. I'm not gonna take his money. I don't need it, and he is a Scalloped refugee, so I feel terrible about it if I did. So he's down. We're outside of Rate right now. We have to run back around the front to find, is it like Ringlet or something? I don't remember what his name is, but we gotta find the other guy and beat him up. Alright, so we did get 2 level ups there, one in strength and one in vitality, and both came with perk points. So in strength, I'm gonna go with, let's see. I think I'm gonna go with Clinch Master. So obviously in the last couple of fights we've been in, we've been getting beaten in clinches despite, you know, thoroughly manhandling our enemies in every other aspect. So I think this is worth doing. It applies to unarmed and armed combat, so it can be a very effective tactic in armed combat to defeat your enemies as well, especially because I think they convey like a minor knockback and stun. So if you're able to clinch and successfully hit your enemy, it should open up opportunities for other strikes with your weapons. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. And then in terms of vitality, what do we got? Again, Marathon Man and Sprinter I don't like. Balanced Diet isn't terrible. Basically, if you don't allow your nourishment to go outside of a range of, I think it's like 50 to 100, but it might be higher than that. So essentially, as long as you're not starving or overstuffed, you will gain +1 vitality and agility, and that's really not hard to do. I usually just wait until my nourishment goes down to around 70, and then if you eat any of the pots around with the weird orange goo in them, they'll give you 25 nourishment and bump you up to somewhere in the mid-90s. So it's not hard to manage, and that is worth getting, especially since a lot of these other perks aren't particularly useful. This is going to, again, make our stamina last longer, but make us move slower, and this does the opposite. We move faster, but we burn more stamina. And this one basically makes you more resilient to food poisoning and stuff, but if you're eating from the pots with the orange goo in them like me, you're never going to have that happen. You generally only get food poisoning from low quality food that's in your inventory, and there is a trade-off to this as well. So you no longer take the negative effects from bad food, but you don't gain positive effects from good food either. So this one is a trade-off, and in my opinion, any of those perks are completely not worth it, unless you're somebody who's never near towns and you don't have the opportunity to eat at those food pots. Then this might be worth it, but I just honestly don't see a lot of situations where it would be. So I'm gonna go with Balanced Diet here. Alright, so by the way, guys, while I'm looking for Riglet or Ringlet or whatever the hell he's called, if you ever want to get a polearm, this is the church right here, the one where you meet Nightingale to go on your little guard tour. If you go into this tower along the wall here, and then up the stairs, there will be a reforged scythe and a halberd right here that you can grab. And depending on what mods you're using, you may be able to store these in your inventory, but otherwise, if you're not running any polearm mods, then you have to carry it around until you drop it. So keep that in mind. If you know you're going into a big battle or something, it might be worth running in here and grabbing one of these to take with you. But if you want to use any of your other weapons, you will need to drop it. There's other stuff here as well. There's maces and spiked clubs. There's all sorts of axes. Plenty of shields. A Morgenstern. Lots of arrows. Some pages, swords, stalwart, and even a thumper. I don't know if I've seen thumper before. Let's steal it and see what that's all about. These are all actually fairly valuable, but I don't want to loot this place too badly. There's also some good bows here as well. Actually, that dogwood hunting bow might be a significant upgrade for me, so I'm gonna steal it. The U one might be too, but the dogwood one looks the coolest to me. So let's see, Thumper, what are you all about? It's a longsword. It's not a very good one. That's actually a really crappy longsword. That's weird. Huh. Yeah, Piercer is significantly better. Why would you even want to use this? Huh. Strange. And it's not like the condition is affecting it or anything. It's just not a very good sword. We'll sell it. And then this dogwood hunting bow is actually a pretty substantial upgrade, and it looks like we are strong enough and agile enough to use it. So that'll be my new bow, and we'll sell that one. Alright, let's see. What's through here? Okay, out to the walls, and I believe the other side is the same. So yeah, if you want a halberd, here's where you can find one.
God save you.
Aren't you Ringling? Milan says I have to beat you before he'll take me on.
And you're that blacksmith's lad, right? What do you want out of it? You're not living in the dirt here like the rest of us.
Maybe not. But why shouldn't I try and beat some coin out of him too?
Yeah, and you can pass it on to us that need it. If you want to fight me, you dandy, then pay up. Or fuck off.
One thing I wish you could do is actually give money to the Skalitz refugees. Because part of my whole like Robin Hood mentality is, you know, Henry's obviously seeing his people begging in the streets after, you know, being like proud miners and workers. And it'd be nice if you could give them alms. You actually can't do that, which is kind of strange. All you can do to really help them is do their quests. And there's a quest for the bailiff where you can help them out as well by getting them some work. But ultimately, it just feels like there should be a little bit more that you can do to help them, because obviously Henry would be very motivated to do that. Let's see. Do I want your green hood? Nah, you can keep all that. Alright, and here we have the final boss, Milan himself. Talk to me, damn it.
I'm glad to see you.
Let's fight.
You gave those two a pretty good hiding, and I made a groschen or two in bets. You Skalitz fellows are good for my purse.
Take this, you bastard. You think you can profit off of refugees? I'll teach you a lesson. Ah, crap. He's a little bit stronger than the other guys. Damn. Still losing clinches to him. Come on, you gonna throw a punch? There we go. Ooh, kicked him in the crotch. Nice. Caught him with a right hook. His health's getting a little bit low. He's at like 2/3 health right now. We'll stay on him. Damn. Come on. Ah, he's getting me. He's getting me. Shoot. Whoa. That was a big left hook right there. I need to conserve my stamina a little bit better here. He's a lot better than the other guys. Ooh, nice dodge. Two can play at that game. Alright, he's got a little bit of health left, maybe a quarter. Haha. Nice, nice. Trying to work those combos. Ooh, what was that? We like collided heads or something. Let's back off. Let's get a little bit of stamina. Almost, almost. Boom! Knee to the face for the victory. So down he goes. And unlike the others, I am going to loot him because he's kind of an ass. Also, he's, again, profiting off of refugees, which is a shitty thing to do. So, I'm going to strip you naked and leave you out in the grass here. I don't really need your keys. I am fairly proficient at lockpicking. So, I would honestly rather lockpick anyways because it levels something up. Using a key doesn't really do anything for you. How does that hat look on us? That is kind of a Robin Hood looking hat, isn't it? I don't love it. Maybe I'll just sell it. It is kind of valuable. But I'm going to move all of these stolen goods to my horse just in case I get searched. I don't think I will, but you never know. And I believe that's quest complete. It just says more fights, ... So, okay. Well, for now, it looks like we're done. We'll have to find more fights later, but we'll leave it here since that kind of wraps things up nicely. And in the next episode, we will go to Ledechko and search for Riki. And again, we'll try to be fairly quick about it so that we can find him alive and well rather than, you know, dying. So, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I had a great time playing some Kingdom Come Deliverance with you, and I look forward to seeing you guys back here for the next episode. Oh, that walk of shame.